Boy, yo, what is up, guys?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How we doing tonight? Welcome to another episode. My name is Austin,
My name is Josiah.
and we are the
Super
Super
duper 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 cinema, super duper 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 cinema brothers.
Cinema.
Brothers.
Bro. Did that catch or did that get figured out
Well,
by
I,
OBS?
I was I was hearing it. I was hearing it. Kind of a guttural
All right.
delivery right there. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah. Hang on. I gotta let the I gotta let the people know. Hang on. Take that. Hang on. I'm letting the homies know. Hang on real quick.
The
All
homies
right.
know, brother.
All right. Now the homies know. All right. How's it going, my man?
Dude, doing well. Doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a hectic time, but a lot of positive stuff. Still got a moment to check this movie out though. How about you, man? How things going?
As did I. As did I. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm enjoying the day off. I was a little worried that I wasn't going to be able to make this one specifically because my voice was shot yesterday.
Mm, I did hear your voice a couple days ago, and it was
It was
it
bad.
was it was near gone. So he
Yeah.
recovered and everything for you guys specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to be in a good shape. So even coming out of the theaters, I was talking to some folks, and we'll get into what I talked about a little bit after later on. But even as late as yesterday, my voice was like, So the fact that it's doing okay today is, thank you God for a good night's sleep and lots of honey and lemon.
Shoot, where to go? I don't know.
And yeah.
Sorry, guys. My computer decided to just like minimize everything for a half second. We're back. We're back. We're all right now.
All right. So enough about all that. What's on the dais tonight? What film are we reviewing, Josiah?
Today we are discussing Predator, Badlands, First Hunt, Last Chance in theaters November 7th.
Ricola. Ricola.
The true review of today is Ricola.
This is not a sponsored post. This is not a sponsored post.
Hmm.
This is not a sponsored post.
But I do got
Not
him
a sponsored.
singing Ricola. It put him straight.
All right.
There we go.
All right.
That's
Predator
good
Badlands.
slogan.
Predator Badlands. All right. Josiah, do you want to do the
I
synopsis? Or do you want me
shall.
to do it?
I'll go for it. I'll go for it.
All right.
Let me just set this
And
to,
this is our
to live chat.
spoiler free plot synopsis. We're gonna have a little spoiler free kind of mini review, immediate takeaways, and then we'll jump into spoiler territory.
Okay.
We will let you know when we get into spoiler territory.
Yeah.
Excuse me. When we get into spoiler territory,
We'll
we
let you
will
guys
let
know.
you
Goodness
know.
gracious. That's how we roll, right? What would you
Yep.
think otherwise? Why would you think that? Oh, thanks for thinking. Yes, yes. You guys do think well of us. All right, all right. Well, this
All
plot
right.
synopsis is brought to us by our circa 2027 overlords, also known as Monsieur Claude, most likely. Here we go. Predator Badlands follows Deck, a young Yautja warrior considered weak by his clan, who is determined to prove his worth by hunting the legendary Kalisk on the treacherous death planet of Genna. Facing rejection from his father and complex family dynamics, Deck finds himself stranded on this hostile world filled with deadly flora and fauna. To survive and complete his hunt, he forms an unlikely alliance with Thea, a damaged Wayland Yutani Corporation synthetic who has her own agenda. and together they navigate the planet's numerous environmental dangers while tracking their elusive quarry. The film explores themes of honor, identity, and what it means to be worthy within the rigid hierarchies of Yautja culture. As Dex struggles to survive on Geddon, he must confront not only the planet's natural threats, but also the corporate interests of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, whose presence on the planet complicates his mission. The story examines the bonds formed between unlikely companions and questions whether strength is measured by tradition and brutality or by courage and compassion in the face of overwhelming odds. Predator Badlands, the summary. All right. I must say though, I'd have been a little frustrated myself if I got all that information. I think Claude needs to hold back some more information. Um, that was too much for me, even reading through it.
Really?
I'm serious, man. I've been so sad, learning some of those twists and turns. I mean, yeah, we'll get to it.
Weyland-Yutani? Oh, the film is ruined.
Oh my
Whole
gosh.
film ruined.
Here's the short of it. The film is so straightforward that even like a limited amount of information that they gave can kind of
It's
like
an
lay out
exposition
the whole
dump.
movie. Can kind of lay out the whole movie for you.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Oh my
Now
god.
that said, I actually did enjoy this film. I did enjoy watching this film. Um, but it also is a film that while you're watching it, and maybe even before going into it, no, like Prey, like Killer of Killers, it's relatively straightforward. So if you're gonna look for this twisty, fantastical espionage, heady kind of experience, I mean, why are you going into the movie thinking that anyways? Honestly,
Yeah.
hmm
If you're looking
are
for like
you?
a deep woven tapestry in the narrative
Yeah,
that ties all kinds of like it's not that complicated.
no. You're also not gonna get the like nail biting. Well, maybe not for everyone nowadays, but the near nail biting thriller of like the perfection that the first Alien movie was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get that. I mean, Claude kind of summarized it as like hunting this creature. It for me, it didn't feel like it was really hunting this creature because like if you compare it to the first Predator and how it's like the Predator is very much hunting everybody in that military band and really like observing them and figuring out like what they're doing and stuff like that. That almost literally doesn't happen at all in this film. That said, it still was a fun watch for me. But yeah, yeah, don't yeah. If you're curious about the franchise, if you like action, it does keep you in the action a good amount. If you're fine with some seeing the plot sort of unfold in a way you're gonna expect, then yeah, maybe you'll enjoy the movie too.
Yeah. Yeah. Just right off the bat, you would do well to forget that the first two movies really existed. A lot of things are developed in the second film, though not as good as the original, but it's still a worthy Predator film. And a lot of the lore and a lot of the things that we like about Predator got established in the second film, the Danny Glover film. And so, again, the first one is a classic. It is a modern classic.
Yeah.
It is 80s gold. And so, uh, yeah, this movie thrives if you forget just for a moment that those movies exist.
Yeah, I mean, because it's by the same director, it it does feel like it exists next to Prey and Killer of Killers. So it feels in a way almost further away from the original movies. But it's okay. It's not a big problem.
Yeah, is this
I
a
think you get some of
prequel?
that
I don't know.
Yautja lore that people want, but it's also they aren't that deep to be honest. Like highly advanced. I
Yeah,
mean, the beginning says it. They're prey to nobody. They are an absolute predator. you kind of already guessed it that they have this cutthroat sort of society. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
not super deep.
Yes, the Klingons are a proud race. I'm sorry, the
Oh,
Yautja are a proud race. Yeah,
not a bad comparison
yeah,
because the Klingons, as we know, they had that classic sort of like double-handed, double-bladed weapon, and
yeah,
yeah, they pretty much have that in here too.
yeah. All right, so before we get into the movie, the film itself,
Yeah,
um, I would like to give some okay, let me first of all, let me give my broad um 30,000 foot above ground. It's a basic
perspective.
movie. It's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a basic movie. It's fine. It has some interesting action. Excuse me. It's cool. It's got its fun moments.
Hmm.
I will say there's a lot of there's a lot of fun, interesting, kind of clever ideas that they're playing with in this movie.
Hmm.
Um, and as long as you're okay with like the most convenient plot occurrences ever, as long as you're like, oh wow, that was awfully convenient.
Hmm.
This movie would this are you sure they're like on a planet and not just on an island that's very small? Wah, whatever.
Hmm.
Phooey. Just enjoy the movie. It's, if you can just like, oh, okay. And I'll get more into this in my negatives, but like just broadly speaking, uh, i- if you need, how would I say this? If you're okay with things just kind of magically happening that allow the plot to progress, then cool. And it doesn't bother you. It doesn't impair your ability to suspend disbelief. Then yeah, you're gonna have a good time with this movie. It's fine. It's fun. It's I wouldn't even say it's silly or goofy. It's a fine movie, and it plays around with some
There's
really
some of those
interesting ideas.
moments. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a couple silly, fun moments for sure. But on the whole, it's not like a silly or fun movie. It's a pretty serious but straight down the middle movie, and it kind of gets you in and gets you out. Like I'm not really mad about it per se.
Yeah, it's
It's fine.
147. Well, no, an hour 47 minutes.
Yeah, it's fine. Um, so yeah, uh, this is definitely a streamer for sure.
Mm.
And I'm gonna get into some of that. But yeah, basically it's a fine it's a fine uh sci-fi movie. It's fine. Uh if you like Worf and the Klingons and Star Trek The Next Generation, I think this movie will be fun for you. And that's pretty much my take. All right, now
Okay.
before we get into spoilers, I want to have a little conversation about the movie going experience. Now, before I continue,
All right.
Josiah, how did you watch this movie? In what format did you view this film?
So I saw this in IMAX. It was a full IMAX scale screen as well. I've more often than not been sitting in the very back, kind of next to the handicap seats, because my wife and I are taking our kid, and she's a very quiet baby, but there are some moments where we do have to step out briefly. And thankfully, in this theater, I can step out and kind of like listen to the movie. I can't necessarily watch the movie. Actually, there may be a couple places I could potentially. Anyways, I did have to step out, and I did miss a little bit at the beginning. That said, because of you guys and wanting to give this movie a fair shot, I did see all the parts that I missed today. So I saw it yesterday for the first time, and then this afternoon I saw all the parts that I had missed. Um, but yeah, and that was also IMAX, slightly smaller screen, closer seat. It's cool. It's
Okay.
cool. I thought it read
I
overall.
okay. Um Question was when you watched it, how sharp was the picture? Was it like normal, like sufficiently sharp? Did it
Mm,
feel a little bit blurry or not blurry, but a
You
little bit
know,
fuzzy?
there were a few shots that I felt like maybe they didn't film it in like the highest resolution, or the effect they're going for, they decided to make it kind of like, I don't know, grainy or a little less high definition. Even with IMAX, like for instance, when I saw the beginning today, and it opens with like a very wide shot that's kind of like reminiscent of like a shot from Dune. It was definitely a lot more obscured looking than Dune did. And even though it was a wide shot, I could look far out, but it was still, I don't know. Yeah, it just wasn't as high resolution, or they just stylistically chose to make it more obscured because the atmosphere or something.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. Uh, okay, so yeah, okay, so I have a few things to say. Number one, yeah, I thought the picture was a little fuzzy, just a little bit fuzzy. I would take my glasses on and off to kind of
Oh,
see
saw
how
it in
fuzzy.
3D.
I'm thinking,
Oh
yes.
no,
So
just
I
a
saw an
regular. Okay,
IMAX laser. I saw an IMAX laser 3D,
okay,
and I have some thoughts on that.
all right, all right.
But before I get to that, like in my viewing, and I don't know if this was just like something up with the projector in the film that in the theater that I was watching it,
Mm,
or if it was just kind of like just slightly fuzzy, slightly not like totally sharp.
yeah.
I don't know, because even like the credits, they were like kind of fuzzy. It's like
Hmm.
the letters. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe it was just, and it wasn't really the 3D of it or not, because I
Okay.
took it off and on. It's like, so maybe it was just my projector in my IMAX
That
screen.
sounds like it would be
That's
a
why I was
screening
curious.
problem.
Possibly.
Yeah,
So, in other words, I don't wanna blame the movie for what could be the projector issue, projector
yeah,
malfunction, or,
yeah.
they didn't turn the dial on it, or the aperture and to get it just sharp enough or something. Somebody bumped it, and they went to lunch. I don't
Hmm.
know, whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't so blurry to the point of distraction, to the point where, like, I need to go outside and, like, tell somebody to fix it, but it was just like, "Okay, it's a little blurry." Okay, I was just wondering if you had the same experience,
Yeah,
maybe not.
yeah.
Okay, so here's my thoughts on number one, IMAX and 3D, 3D IMAX and 3D in general.
Okay.
So number one, let me start with the 3D in general. All right, they give you glasses, right? And you get these big old visors, these shades or whatever. A lot has to go right in order for you to have a pleasant viewing experience. Like
Mhm.
the glasses they give you have to not be smudged or scratched. And even if they are, you need to be able to take your shirt and, like, clean it or whatever, get an
Mhm.
alcohol wipe or whatever.
That's
And
true.
even then, if there's smudges or scratches, it's going to impair your viewing, the full
Man,
enjoyment, the full immersion of your 3D viewing experience.
it
Now,
totally
this is
would.
true whether it's IMAX or whether it's real 3D. Truth be told, based on the movies I've seen recently, I think I had a better 3D experience with the real 3D movies than with the IMAX movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know what exactly that is, but that's what I had. And in fairness, the only recent 3D movie was this movie, Predator: Badlands.
Yeah.
But I was really like, oh, let me just see it. There's a lot of CG in this.
Yeah.
CG tends to benefit the most from 3D glasses and the
Mhm.
whole 3D experience.
100%. Yeah, I'm considering
Uh,
seeing Zootopia in 3D.
yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So let me get to that because I'm going to touch on that right now.
Yeah.
After watching this movie, I think I've concluded that number one, the movies that benefit the most from 3D are either live action movies that have copious amounts of CGI
Mhm.
with an asterisk and animated features. We saw the other guys too.
The
I feel
bad
like that really
guys. Yeah.
benefited the bad guys. Sorry, the bad guys too.
Mhm.
Uh, DreamWorks animated film, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
I think that really benefited from the 3D effect. When I saw the Zootopia 2 trailer with real 3D, I felt like that benefited from 3D.
100%.
Uh, I don't know what it is about the saturation of light and bouncing off of 3D animation. It it seems to be the vehicle and the medium that most benefits from the 3D cinema experience.
Yeah. Mhm.
But going back to the asterisk, having watched this movie that has a whole lot of special effects
Whole lot of it.
from Weta effects and industrial light and magic, I came away feeling like, I could have just watched this in regular IMAX and I probably would have had a better experience.
Oh no.
Fewer things fewer things have to go right and can't go wrong when you take 3D out of the equation.
It's true. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the viewing equation. A whole lot of things have to go right in order for it to not suck, the experience to not be crappy. All right. Now, here's my next thing I want to talk about is specifically IMAX theaters themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, these these IMAX theaters have the most treacherous steps going up. I have yet to go to an IMAX theater and not trip over the steps. I kid
Yeah.
you not. I kid you not. They
Dang.
have like these teeny tiny steps that you just trip over every single time. I always ask for a cup of water because it's free, right? I get a glass of water,
Yeah.
and every time,
Gotta
if you
stay
got
hydrated.
popcorn, if you got popcorn, anything that could spill, you do not want to see in these theaters without taking extreme caution. By the time you get to your seat, half the movie might be over. You mean you didn't spill anything, but for God's sakes, like the way they design these IMAX theaters, and it's like ubiquitous. It doesn't matter which IMAX theater you go to; they
Yeah.
all follow a similar like architecture and design.
Yeah.
Beautiful screen, but man, getting to your seat can be
Mhm.
absolutely treacherous.
And the seats
And
themselves, are fine, but, like, I feel like the distance between, your row and the row behind you and row in front of you, not so very, great. Like, when you're walking by people, it's set up in such a way that, like, if the row in front of you is, like, leaning back all relaxed, they're, like, halfway into the walkway while you're trying to slide by. So not only
right,
do you gotta, like, scoot past your row's, like, legs and knees and stuff, but you gotta kinda, like, pull yourself in so you're not bumping in front of into all the seats in front of you as well.
right. Going back to these steps though, hang on. So
Yep, yep.
listen, if you hear what I'm saying, it's like, oh, well, it's a dark theater. Of course, you might trip on it. That could happen in any movie theater. Wrong. Try again. These IMAX theaters, they're like lit up. Like the stairs, the pathway is completely lit up with these these fluorescent neon blue things, giving you a false sense of safety, I guess, walking up these stairs. I'm like, oh, I can see all the stairs. Nope, there's an invisible one that you didn't see, and you're gonna trip on it. I promise you.
Yeah.
The Like, what is this? An IMAX theater for ants? You know, like how big are these stairs, man? Like, come on.
I don't
Every
even
single time
know.
I trip. And like if that's what happens every time you go to see an IMAX movie, you begin to associate the IMAX experience with like tripping over and spilling stuff. And
Well,
that's
that's
no
true.
bueno. This is the meta view of the overall cinematic experience, movie going experience. You know what it's like? It's like going to Chipotle. Maybe you guys have had this experience. They're building your burrito, and then when it's time to like put the burrito together and fold it and put it together, and you see bits and pieces of the carne asada that you just paid for shooting out, and they don't replace it, they don't put it back. Ooh, it's infuriating.
It is.
I
That is
know.
also.
I this is this is something that doesn't happen at Subway, which also lets
Mhm.
you see the sandwich making experience. It all stays on the sandwich.
It
But
does,
too many
man.
times at Chipotle, it's like you're like, no, no, but I paid for that cheese. Oh no, but I paid for that. And I'm not now you showed me it. Now I see that I'm not getting it. And that like
Oof.
it
Oof,
makes me
that
not
is
want to
rough.
go to Chipotle.
That's rough.
Like
You know what? Man,
if you go
go
to a
ahead.
regular like, if you go to a regular taco shop, most of the time you don't even see what they're just ba 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 ba, you know, ba ba da 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 da, and then you just get your burrito. You don't know like half of the stuff that's spilled out. You just get your burrito and it is what it is, and you're not thinking about it because you don't see it. But if you're gonna show it to me, you'd better deliver. That means whatever you put in there, you make sure it gets in there or give it to me on the side so I can pour it back in myself. But don't have me watch you fold this burrito together, roll it together, and have stuff pop. Don't do that. That's a bad experience.
It's a bad
In the same
experience.
way,
Yep.
In the same way, don't make these teeny tiny, weird, awkwardly measured steps that just cause you like trip over and spill your popcorn, spill your drink. It's just like it's a bad
It
experience.
is an odd
And,
one,
and,
man. I
and now you're
100%
just
understand.
frustrated. You're frustrated before you even watch the movie, you know?
Mhm. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
It's just
I mean, let me add into that, like, I've been to a few places where there's step the step height is normal, but the step length is, like, twice as
oh,
long
that's
as
the
normal, so
worst.
you're like,
That's the worst.
"Okay, I gotta take 2 regular steps on this step, and then step up with my left and a regular, and then maybe I can make 1 step with 1 foot, but then I gotta switch it up because it's now awkward." Yeah, terrible, terrible. I will also add on to Razzin on Chipotle for a second, not a sponsor, you guys don't wanna sponsor us anymore, but y'all got to get some of your workers lined up correctly. I'm gonna say, last time I went to Chipotle, they were putting together my burrito, over with all, putting my rice and putting my lettuce and stuff like that, and then go, slides over a little bit to go to the meat. By the time I'm about to like get to the final stage, this man slides this burrito that's on, an okay square of aluminum foil, slides it all the way across this counter that isn't even clear of all the different ingredients that he keeps on spilling on the counter. And so as he slides all the way across the edges of my burrito, get a mixture of every other thing that I didn't ask for. And I'm like, what the heck is this quality control, man? Like, dude, if someone's allergic to one of these ingredients that you just slid all across the front of my burrito, like, man, you're gonna have a big liability problem here, man. Like, you guys better never put a peanut sauce out there or something like that for who knows what reason. 'Cause you be sliding that burrito on peanut sauce and killing some people. Like, goodness gracious.
This has been our review of Chipotle Badlands. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Oh my gosh. All
I
right.
know,
So
I know. I will add on though regarding the IMAX theater. I am a little spoiled. My theater does have an elevator, so I take the elevator directly to my seat level. That said,
decadent.
that said,
Decadent.
I know it is very decadent. If I ever do get a seat that's not in the very back anymore, I'm gonna have to step down some stairs, and I might just wind up falling down the whole thing. We'll see.
All right. Wow. Elevator.
Yeah.
All right.
Final thing I'll
What are we
say, for all you guys that maybe surprisingly not gone to like a full IMAX theater, guys, do yourself a favor. Just act like the first third of the seats in the theater don't exist. If you wind up placing yourself in one of those seats, that movie is going to be the worst movie you've ever seen, no matter what it is. And you're going to come out of there with neck pain that AMC is never going to wind up treating you for.
You're gonna look like Al Gore in that episode of South Park when he's on the computer. Yeah, like that's how you're gonna have to watch the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
You need to be at least mid-level or higher. Otherwise, don't even watch it in IMAX.
Don't even.
Don't
Don't
even
even.
don't even put your
Don't even.
and remember, all the stereo base all pools at the bottom of the theater. So unless you just want to be like bombarded and blasted with bass,
Ooh,
yeah, like yeah, you got to go higher up.
that would be terrible. Man.
Yeah. All right.
All right, back to the
So we got
movie.
yeah,
Time for
Josiah.
some
What did you like
spoilers.
about this movie? Oh, you know what? Good. Thank you for saying that. This has been our spoiler-free segment of the Predator Badlands podcast, Predator Badlands review. From this point on, it is spoiler alert. If you do not want to be spoiled on the film, go ahead and pause this, go see the movie, and then hit play again. We'd love to have you. But from this point on, it is spoiler alert, spoiler alert. We will be spoiling the film from this point forward. We are assuming
We
that you've
will.
already
We will be.
watched the movie, and we're going to be having a conversation about it. All right, so
All right.
spoiler alert begins now. All right, what did you think about the film, Josiah? What did you like about it?
There's actually a good amount that I like about it. I did remember though, real quick, real quick. Oh, two things. One, I did notice a few shots that are. I was like, okay, yeah, that shot was definitely designed to be viewed in 3D. Like when he first shows up on the planet and he's looking at all his
Yeah,
weapons and stuff, and then he like aims the bow at the screen and tilts it and stuff, and then gets his staff ready because he's seeing something moving. The staff is like aiming, very much at the screen. And then also there's the needles moment, like the needles shooting. I saw a couple shoot like right past camera. Um,
yeah.
Classic stuff. Did that look good in 3D?
It was fine.
Okay. All right. Second thing, we got a Janelle in the chat saying, "Don't get me started on how tiny the seats are. Those seats are pretty small. They have
Yeah.
jammed those seats into the IMAX theater. Yeah, it's nowhere near like the other like plush seated seats that you can like extend. Yeah, these sadly these are the seats you can't recline in and all that stuff. But it's all right. It's all right. We're
Yeah.
going we're going for the cinematic, visual, and auditory quality. I'm sure they'll change it over someday, but they won't have as much seats in there probably, which is maybe a problem for them. But yeah, bad seats, bad seats. Not the worst in the world. Actually, about that, I forgot to mention last week when I saw Frankenstein at the TCL Chinese Theater. Don't ban me from it, guys. But look, I sat down in y'all's seat and I went to lean back and I basically went like completely horizontal. Like there was like no support. So like the whole movie, I had to just kind of like hold my knees up against the back of the seat and kind of like lightly have my core activated so I didn't just fall back all the way into the oblivion. Um, I don't know. It was by design. I looked at the side of the chair and like inside the chair, there's like a metal piece that kind of like moves. I was like, isn't there supposed to be like screws there to like keep it from moving too much? But I guess not. Anyways, we're done with the movie theater reviews. Sorry, Janelle. Yeah. It's there. There's some rickety seats out there. You know, they're getting a reckoning soon. Hopefully.
Right.
Back to
All right.
spoilers. Yeah. So the movie actually, I think it is satisfying if you're going in there looking and you're desiring to have Yautja action. You want to see. I mean, the conceit of a Yautja main character, I think, is realized pretty well. That's it. Because we are a human audience that has you know our our own expectations for what we like out of a film. Oh man, I guess that's kind of going to the negative. I don't know. I'll just make it brief. They did obviously, as necessary as you probably would guess, make the main Yautja and even his brother in the film like more human in their morality than the rest of their clan. I mean, it's not by a lot, but it's by enough. Now, like virtually everybody else in the clan is like hardened killers, willing to murder their own family and stuff like that. But we are given like
Presumably.
presumably,
Presumably.
presumably, until we see otherwise. Um, but we're given a Yautja though that he's got some emotions. He's got some care to it, and so I can appreciate that from a need for the audience to be able to connect to him, and I see why they did it that way, and I actually can enjoy it for that. But if you wanted to have just like hardened killer, stone cold kind of a character, you're not exactly gonna get that. You're gonna get most of that, but you're not gonna do that. Anyways, let me go back to the good things. I thought most of the action was pretty fun. I think it does recognize that we want to see a lot of action, and so it does kind of throw us into action moment, sequence to sequence to sequence. Especially when we get down to Gena, the planet, they pretty quickly go from crash sequence to having landed, have a quick moment to show off the gear, and then into conflict, into conflict, into conflict. Um, and I think it was actually pretty well handled, kind of breaking that up and having a couple slow moments, couple moments to get some character growth in there. So I think overall, I think it used its time pretty well, and I think it was able to, yeah, like choose to unfold the character dynamics in the right moments. There wasn't necessarily a moment where I needed or wanted the action to continue, and they just kind of like put it to a complete halt or anything. I think it knew when to do things, so I thought that was pretty good pacing wise. Uh, Genobi says we learned to use the private elevator this time to get to the top. Yes, yes, we definitely did learn to use that private elevator. It is a new trick of ours. Um, now, um, yeah, I mean, I like the main characters. I like Deck. Uh, Overall, I like the main characters. I think Deck was cool. His brother introduction. You know, the showing that there could be a bond even within this hardened culture. Thought was nice. Um, Seeing their technology, the conflict themselves. I think the enemy type, you know, was varied enough that it was cool to see. You know, they took advantage of like what would be fun to see in a movie where a predator is the main protagonist and they're on like a death planet. I think the death planet part could have gone even further. They chose to like leave it at a level of more deadly than ours for sure, but honestly probably not more deadly than Australia or something, you know. So it could have leaned further into that, but I'll cover more of that kind of stuff in the complaints. I think they were smart in choosing the character types in the group to play well enough against each other. Um, hmm. Actually, to be fair, probably wanted even more action from some of the sequences. There are most of the sequences got me up to like a level of satisfaction, but I think they were done well enough that I could have spent even more time in a good handful of those fight sequences. Mm, it doesn't feel like it disrespected the lore of anything in particular, whether it be the Predators or Wayland Utani. I think they understood those characters and those, you know, the companies and stuff like that, and think depicted them fine enough. I'm a little on the fence with Ellie Fanning's
L
characters.
L L Fanning,
Elle Fanning.
Thea.
Upon my second watch, though, I did wind up liking Thea more. Tessa, I thought was okay. I
Okay.
did appreciate the differences in her performance that she had between those two characters because it's the same, you know, same actress playing both those characters. They almost missed an opportunity though to have like her and her actual real life sister, but it's totally fine that they just had the same actress, you know, for both of the roles. And I mean, if
They
anything,
didn't wanna pay
it's
both of them. They didn't wanna pay both.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's probably the reality of the situation, right? Um, but yeah, you know, oh, I mean, I am. So it plays actually kind of like a comic or even like a graphic novel in how straightforward it is, which is not necessarily a negative. I think it understood like what it was going for and the level of depth and intrigue it needed to like bring to the story. So my favorite stuff was like them being on the planet, him, you know, depicting his relationship with them, depicting his relationship with his family, um, and then, you know, the couple sidekick characters they introduced, I liked well enough. Um, I actually was mildly surprised that they put in like some of the humor that they did, but I think it did work because it wasn't at like awkward moments. It wasn't like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where it's like the humor just totally took out the win from every, you know, important moment that wind up happening. So I can respect that they you know held back and knew when they could put it in there versus when not to have it in there. Um, Deck himself, his performance, I think I was a little. I mean, everyone probably was kind of wondering how it might read to have that Yautja as a main character. Well, I won't say it was like a perfect fit because their faces are it's a it's taking a chance. Like they have a lot similar to our faces, but then they have like their fangs and mandibles and they almost have this like perpetual scowl that's kind of like natural to their face. I was a little surprised how successful it was. I won't say it was perfectly successful or anywhere near that, but I was pleasantly surprised that I was able to read as much as I did in the performance. Overall, I could read the emotions, but it may honestly fall a little bit into the negative category when we get to that. Um,
Okay.
Big sucker though for setting up payoff stuff, and I think the payoff of like him piecing together his own armor and weapons and stuff within the time period given what was cool. Everyone knows that the Predators have like unfair technology beyond everybody else, and so they turned it on its head with this movie. They're going up against and synthetics that have potentially the best. Well, I guess it's not the best technology. The Predators, the Yautjas, still have the absolute best technology, and they even say at one point like, "Oh, we don't even have faster than light travel. Did you wind up using it?" So they have like good technology, but not the best technology. But even at that, he's like stripped of all his stuff. He's stripped of even his like badass, energy blade and everything. And so then he goes and has a little montage of assembling his own kit. Essentially recreating the full Predator tech kit, but with the resources of the planet. I did dig that. I did, and I even let the little like spitter creature like sort of jump. I let that go. Like I don't know how he was communicating to it and to like shoot who win. I don't care. It was fine. Like I let it go enough. Like it's starting to jump the shark maybe a little bit. But look, I just wanted to see the fun action, and it was there overall. Man, yeah. So there's a lot I like about the movie. I can't say anything specific about like the music or yeah. You did touch a little bit up on the visuals. At least the visual quality of the film may be a little wanting. Could have just been your projector possibly, but the second time I watched it, I did catch the Avatar Fire and Ash trailer right before it, and that's almost a little bit of a disservice that they did that. It is a very unfair comparison to see those
Yeah.
two things up against each other. That said, like you said, this is like a streaming kind of a movie. I think I can agree with that overall. This feels
Yeah. This
like
has HBO Max written all over it.
it does. It does. And that's entirely fine. Sometimes you want just something like that. This is like I don't know, like watching a 4 episode art like mini anime that's just get in, get out, tell a super simple story. And I think it understood itself overall. Yeah. So I'll end with that. I may think of some other cool things along the way, but yeah, what did you wind up liking about this movie?
um, I like Dex character motivation. I thought that was probably the strongest part of the movie from a
Hmm.
narrative standpoint.
Hmm.
He had a real reason to like get back and all that stuff.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
I liked
Oh, yeah,
I I liked the scene that they showed in the trailer where he's like his pod, he crashes and he rolls out. He's like, he's like frustrated, right?
yeah, yeah.
So, like, I
Mhm,
like the scenes where he's just like frustrated and he's not really saying anything. He's just roaring.
Mhm.
I kind of like that. I think that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Uh,
reminds me. Yeah, Thea pointing out that he's grieving. I thought that was actually a pretty good exploration of that, and I was a little surprised that that was an element. I believed it.
yeah, I'm not even sure that I necessarily need a predator to be grieving. You know what I mean?
Fair.
That may to me to me personally, I'm like, no, I don't need you to be no, I just need you to be a predator.
Okay.
Um, so like I like I'll, I'm kind of rethinking what I liked about it. Like the character motivation is fine, I guess, but at the same time, I kind of just want the predator to be the predator, and like I almost wanted this movie. I would almost be okay if this movie was even more straightforward.
Okay. Yeah.
As far as the narrative and the plot, which it is
Mhm.
very straightforward, and that's not even a negative. Um, I okay. This kind of falls into the category of like I like the idea perhaps more so than the execution of the idea.
Okay.
All right, when they talk about like this like this planet where nothing where like it's like the hardest to survive, I'm almost positive that whoever wrote the script probably reads Hunter x Hunter. And there's, if you look at the New World, if you look at the like the double page spread of it, it's just like all these animals eating each other. It's like, all right, this is Hunter x Hunter, and they're going into the new planet that nobody ever survived from, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I was thinking it was going to be, and what I was wanting it to be, um, was really all right. You know the movie is it Gravity with Sandra Bullock? She's the astronaut.
Yeah.
Okay, so the cool thing about that movie is like it never lets up. The whole time she's just in existential peril, right?
Mm.
Up until the very end where she, like, comes out of the pod and she
Mm.
walks out into the jungle, which I'm sure is absolutely safe to walk out in a bikini, but whatever. It was the end of the movie. Up to that point, like, she was just, like, constantly, like, one step away from floating off into space forever and dying, right?
Mhm.
Um, I like the idea of what Deck had to do, maybe more so than the execution of it. Like, uh, at what point like, they filmed this movie in Australia. And at what point are you just in a all right, exploding bugs, all right. Um, I mean, if you
Yeah.
just wanna survive this planet, just stay in the water. Apparently, there's no, like, piranhas or fish or anything. This guy fell into
Yeah.
into to the water and didn't get eaten up by a leviathan or nothing. He
Mhm.
was good.
Mhm.
So, okay, but let me stick with what I liked.
That's right. Yeah.
Um, I did like some of the fight choreography, some of the fight scenes. I like Deck's characters, like, "Oh, you give up too easily." There's some like he doesn't know his environment, but he's like, "All right, well, I'm not gonna give up. I'm just gonna figure it out," you know? Now, that's good up to a point because, like, he would have gone straight to that glass and cut himself up to ribbons if Thea didn't tell him, "Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
that's sharp grass or blade glass grass," or whatever they called it. Blade grass.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Yeah, if
kill
you wanna
you.
be real, yeah, as realistic with it as possible. I mean, the second that the camera, like, lowers over the grass and you hear the grass, like, up against each other, we all knew it was bladed grass. The fact that he didn't know it was bladed grass till he touched it, it's like, are you really a predator? Like, that's some bad senses right there.
Yeah. So, I'll save it kind of for the negatives because
Okay.
then it's just me, like, creating my own creating my own headcanon for the movie, and
Mhm.
I don't know if it's fair to compare the actual movie and its merits and its shortcomings to my own headcanon.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna try not to do that. I or at the very least, I'll just say this is headcanon. This is if I was making this movie, this is how I would have done it. I'm gonna try to keep that an aside and something separate than the review of the movie itself.
Okay.
But overall, I thought the CGI was good. I mean, you had the 2 out of the 3 premier, um, VFX houses doing it. Weta FX. They also have Weta Workshop for all like the some of the physical stuff,
Oh, that's cool.
which is kind of on the they're the people that did Lord of the Rings just for reference. Um, a lot of stuff from different parts of the Marvel movies, Iron Man movies and stuff. I know Weta FX did a whole lot for Iron Man 3. Um, w- we don't need to get into Iron Man 3, but what was good
Let
about
us
Iron Man
not.
3 was
Let
was
us
the
not.
special effects. The saving grace of Iron Man. All right. Anyway, that's Weta FX. Uh, so yeah, and then of course ILM. ILM, they're the best. And so I liked. Let's
You're on
see,
your own movie Planet Death, man, with the landmines at every turn.
I know, I know, right? Um.
And
All
then
right.
Iron
So
Man
like,
2 showed up. No.
oh my gosh, yeah. Um, I liked I liked the legs, the lower body. It was doing stuff on its own.
That was fun. Yeah.
Some of the things that they did around that were pretty clever. Its
Mhm.
fight choreography was pretty clever, and how they
Yeah.
executed it.
Mhm.
Um,
It did make me wonder for a half second as like a real technical detail. Like it just thinking about animation and thinking about the weight of those legs and it moving. I almost wonder if it should have potentially looked a little bit more like spry or light because obviously like when you have a whole body on top of the legs walking like it gives more weight to the legs. Anyways, small little question in detail. I forgot exactly how they did it for that Pixar Onward movie, but anyways.
yeah, we don't. I mean, we don't know how heavy these robots are in to begin with. Like we
Yeah,
don't actually know.
yeah, it's true.
So, yeah,
Dang, though, her legs were way more capable than her like for most of the movie. For most of the movie.
yeah,
Anyways, yeah, we can save that for the other section. Yeah, give me at least one
yeah.
more thing that you thought was cool about the film.
I like I like the fact that there was another character that was brought in, the little monkey character
Mhm.
that ends up being the child of
The
the
Callus.
Kalisk thing, the
Mm-hmm.
Kalisk, the thing that he was supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
hunting.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
I think they
and I thought the Kalisk,
called her Bud, maybe, right? Was it Bud?
yeah, Thea
Yeah.
nicknamed him Bud. So it was the son, I guess. It
I
looks
think it's
male,
a daughter. Yeah, she said her,
or maybe
but
it's a daughter. Yeah, sure. Um, so I like I like how it became like the Diddy Kong to Dex Donkey Kong. I was cool
Uh-huh.
with that.
Yeah.
It was a fun character. It brought a little bit of levity. Now, did I want levity in a
Did.
movie like this? Do I just wanted to go hard in the paint the whole time? I would have been happy with that, maybe happier with that, but
Mhm. Mhm.
it was fine. And how it tied it in with the ballast, and it's like, oh, okay, this is why Dex doesn't die in this scene because he spit on it, and okay, it recognizes the scent, and that's what saves it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm okay with like contrivances like that make sense.
Yeah. And it was a good moment
And
in the cinematography where Deck is underneath the beast and it's horizontal and then the camera rotates to then go vertical to show that
yeah,
there's a change in relationship.
sure,
Mhm.
I'm cool with that. I didn't even notice that. Like, I don't even remember that, to be honest with you. I liked when he first got there and he has to fight all the vines. Like, I'm
Mhm.
cool with stuff like that because, like, okay, the vines are there and he's got to fight and he's got to like survive. And so, like, this is like a struggle and he's got to like survive and all that stuff. Like, those things are cool. Um, when they fought that big rhino thing, it
Mhm.
was all right. I mean, it was fine. This movie kind of reminds me of like Superman. It's like you have like this company with all their bunkers and all their stuff. Um,
I see what you mean.
even
Yeah. Mhm.
okay, so and this is kind of a plot hole. So when she goes in, when they arrive at the site where they would have the fight, and then she goes in to like heal herself and like connect her legs and stuff. the Humvee or the thing was flipped upside down. But when they went in there, everything was fine. Everything was right side up. I don't know if anybody caught that. That stuff should have all been upside down, but it wasn't. Whatever. Like, cause the wheels were like up,
It's
right?
true.
The little
Yeah,
caravan thing.
that is a detail. Hmm.
Yeah, somebody missed that, but I caught
Yeah,
it.
I
Don't
mean, it could
worry.
have been easily fixed by her. Like, I don't remember if she turned the screen like upside down or something. Or, I mean,
Or
yeah.
just don't have it upside down in the first place, and then you don't have to like. Then it's a non-issue. Um, whatever. I mean, I don't care. Whatever,
Oh boy.
man.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Well,
The
how about this?
no,
How about this?
the callus fight and the way that it regenerated was kind of cool. I like that.
That was pretty dope. Yeah. All right. Sweet man.
All right.
Well then, yeah. Let's jump into things that we thought could have been a little better. Within the story, or maybe things we just didn't like. You wanna go for it first? Oh, one
All
small
right.
little detail I wanted to throw in real fast. So you brought up Superman, and fun little spoiler, upcoming detail potentially. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, coming out next summer. I read the comic that it's based on. I'm not sure if they're going to keep it in there, but they literally go to like a death planet kind of situation in that story. One that Supergirl's like powers are completely stripped, more or less, or she's like actively dying as she's on the planet and like can't move. And like everything on the planet's deadly. All the creatures are eating each other, so on and so forth. So kind of a fun little like realization that this movie's got something that might show up in Summer's blockbuster as well.
Interesting.
And both it does have a very Superman kind of vibe to it. Like, as you if you know Superman already, he classically has like a museum of alien zoo slash museum of aliens all across the world, and so it's very
Yeah.
in Superman to like rescue a beast like the Kalisk or something from Wayland Nutani and like add it to a habitat or something. But
Yeah.
anyways, so
All
we'll
right.
see how the Death Planet happens in that movie if it does show up in Supergirl.
Okay. So, all right. So before my voice goes out, things I didn't like. All right. So like they're on this whole death planet,
Hmm.
and not one mosquito, not one killer bee. Like really,
It's too
like
much, man. There's no
this
stopping
goes into
it.
the idea, the concept, the idea was better than the execution. Like, if you're gonna frame it like this
There,
death planet, then, like, you need to bring it at every turn. Everything needs to be quicksand, everything needs to be poisonous, everything needs to have thorns,
yeah,
like, everything needs to be, like and, like, they kinda did it a little bit in the beginning, but that wasn't even on the death planet. The bug gets eaten by the lizard, gets eaten by the other thing, and then it gets ran over. Like, that wasn't even the death planet. That was just planet
yeah.
Predator or
That was
planet,
Yautja Prime. Yeah,
Yautja. Yautja. So, alright. I mean, why even show me that? But anyway,
yeah.
again,
It almost I don't know. It almost weakens Death Planet by having it on another planet too. Yeah,
right.
almost.
If they just said it was just whatever planet, that I wouldn't have come in with those expectations.
It's
But,
fair. That's
I guess
fair.
I
Oh,
guess,
real quick, Genobi in the positive said, I kept thinking about how much effort Elle Fanning put into acting as if she was missing half her body until she got her legs back. Yeah, it'd be cool to see the behind the scenes sometime. There were a few scenes that I wondered like, is the ground not there and her body's like dangling, like they dug a pit or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, no, I think she did a fine job with it.
yeah, same
When
thing
she
with
was
Oscar
piecing
Isaac.
her body back together on the table, it was pretty obvious that her real body was like in the table, the classic like magician cut in half body kind of a thing. Um,
Yeah.
I will say one of the weird CG moments was when the Yautja was carrying her like flat, and she was like talking and jabbering and being annoying, and her like neck was like leaning back and talking to him. But um, overall, yeah, no, her acting for it was good. All
Yeah,
right, back.
I was yeah, I was saying, like, similar to like what Oscar Isaac did in Frankenstein when he lost his leg, or Gary Sinise when he played Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump and he
Oh, that's
lost his
right.
leg.
Hmm.
And those you pay really, really close attention. You have to really, really be paying attention to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of scenes are like dimly lit enough to where like it's easy to miss it if you're not paying attention. All right, so chances are she was wearing like like spandex, neon green, blue, green, whatever onesie in the bottom, and just
Hmm.
letting her legs dangle
Hmm.
and trying to keep them out of the way, something like that.
Yeah.
And the way they filmed a lot of it was like above the waist anyway, so it's
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so my biggest issue with the film, I'll just say that, and then whatever flows from there.
Okay.
Everything's too convenient. Everything that happens is way too convenient for the plot progressing. He lands right in the perfect spot where he runs into this uh synthetic. He
Yeah.
runs in of all the places on the whole planet, he runs into the one place where he runs into her. Because if he didn't run into her, he would have died.
Yeah.
Because if he didn't run into her,
That.
once he got into that field where the little this and they start shooting the things, he would have gotten eaten by the dragon that was coming down to get him. So
Yeah.
that would have been the end of the movie.
Yeah. That.
So
I did think about that at that moment also. Like, yeah, he was just dead if she didn't help. Also, her like
right,
tackling that like giant flying beast at the last moment, like it painted her to be way stronger than like she wound up being for the rest of the film in a way.
yeah.
Yeah.
So convenient spikes in strength, convenient location. Um, yeah, the fact that she can just magically understand any language, like, all right. I mean, again, it justifies her speaking English so that we can understand what she's saying, and we're not reading subtitles the whole movie.
She actually has a line
Um,
for us. When she says that,
yeah,
she literally says that like I'm doing universal dialect or translation or whatever. So like whoever hears
transponder,
me,
Starfleet transponder. All right.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. There's a whole scene where he's falling down the tree, he's slowing himself down, putting his blade into the tree, and they stop just before they get to the blade grass. It's fine, but it's like, all right, whatever. Um, so number
It's a
one,
little cheesy. It's a little cheesy. Like it's necessary to show the
yeah,
danger, but since she's a synthetic, it probably wouldn't even do anything like if it cut her eye anyways.
right. So later on in the film where they capture him and then she helps him escape, and then he just falls into the water and then ends up right back at the ship. And it seems like the ship has like the front and rear window thing busted open, but then he was able to fly away. Uh, okay. But like just the fact that he was like he doesn't know the terrain, he doesn't know the geography of this place. There's no map or anything. He just somehow made it back to his ship somehow, some way. All right, that's awfully convenient. And he runs into the monkey, he runs into Bud again. That's awfully convenient. And then he starts doing the whole MacGyver thing, the whole Home Alone thing, where he just starts getting all the stuff. All right, fine. Um, what else? Yeah, because like the whole plot, there was no, I mean, if he didn't make it back to his ship and then know how to get exactly to where they were going, there's just too many things that were too easy and too convenient. Like it was too easy.
Mhm.
Um, and so too many plot not contrivances, but plot conveniences. He just magically made it back to where he needed to be to do exactly what he needs to do. I'm like, all right, fine. I feel like that all could have been written better or written differently to where they didn't have to like just magically MacGuffin like 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 the MacGuffin in this movie was just convenient geography and convenient like distance. Um, so yeah, that was a big like that kind of took me out of the movie. Uh, what else? Mm. There was the scene where the Kalis ends up exploding and dying. It's frozen, explodes, and Bud didn't seem to be terribly broken up over that. And it was right after like a really emotional moment where they really connect, and then it just explodes, and no.
It did show to be sad for a moment, but yeah, it does wind up making a joke, like the next moment. So yeah, that's probably the one, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 moment that happened in the movie for me where it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but either does it not know what's going on or should not be making that
yeah,
joke
it's a
at that moment.
it's a weird inclusion of comedy at a really
Yeah.
at a really tone deaf time,
Mhm.
and it
Mhm.
undercuts all the that moment that you just had with the thing he was supposed to be hunting, right?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
it just dies, and that's it, and nobody thinks about it. It's just weird,
Yeah.
really, really weird. So that was weird. What else? Uh, yeah, like when there's Thea, and what was the sister's name? The bad
Tessa.
robot. Say it again.
Tessa.
Oh, Tessa. Yeah, just the way that they just kind of ransacked through the environment just made it seem a whole lot less dangerous when they were following the scent or tracking Deck, the predator. They just had the flame torches and they cut and and it just made it seem like way less imminently threatening. If you just have a big enough team, you can just survive all this stuff. And then there's just really simple things that for the sake of the scene, Deck didn't do. Like when those big things start blowing up and getting ready to pop, the easiest way to avoid that is just to get on the ground and just, you know. So even if the dinosaur that was dropping rocks, it wouldn't matter because you would be way too low for any of those things to hit you anyway. This is really easy stuff. Like that's the first thing I would have done, right?
That yeah. So that's true. That's true. It did show that he was hit by some of the needles, but that was probably like one of the last couple blasts. I think it did play off the first couple as he like ducked under them, and that's potentially a mistake because then it just causes you to think that like you could just duck under the whole thing.
I mean, but he could have just get on the ground and just just do that. I mean, unless there was killer ants or something on the ground and he had to get or something. I don't know. This place could
Yeah.
have been way more savage, and he wasn't being dumb in a way that really took me out of the movie. But some of those things could have been once you saw those things, all right, this is bad news. Let me just get down. You know what I mean? Or
Or just go
just
around.
wonder, or
Yeah.
just start wraithing like you had a wraith or whatever, like a Grim Reaper wraith, and just start hacking them at the bottom and cutting them off at the root or
Yeah,
something.
I would argue that would be more of a problem because then you would knock it down, and while it's falling, it has a better, more like
Sure,
more of your body to hit when it explodes, like as it's falling.
fair point. I'm just saying, there's ways. I mean, if or as soon as they get hacked, maybe they just shrivel up. I don't know. You can write this however you want to write it.
It's
Like
true. Yeah.
you can make up these rules don't exist in the real world. You can do whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
as opposed to just kind of waiting for this thing to drop a rock and then you just gotta run. No, man, just you know.
Yeah.
Now, maybe maybe to avoid the big dragon on top, he had to run for the last length of it or something like that. Okay. Um, or maybe he climbs past all those. Okay, again, sorry, headcanon. If I made the movie, how much better I would make it. But based on the rules that they outlined, it just seemed like he was doing something unnecessary that the plot needed him to do in order to show the usefulness of Thea and how she's a meaningful character with knowledge that can help him survive this Badlands hellscape. It's or just go around that bush or whatever. I don't know. There's nothing that said he had to go straight through that place in the first place. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's very
It's all in
true.
how you write
Yeah.
things. You create problems and then you create less than novel ways to get out of less than novel solutions to those problems. So either write better problems or write better solutions or both. And
Yeah,
that's just
they could have they could have gotten around that sort of problem, at least one part of the problem by like once he's gotten halfway into the field, like these plants like bloom into place or something like that. So it's like, well, he didn't realize that like they were there until he was in the middle and he couldn't go anywhere else. Yeah, there's definitely different ways to write this or execute it on screen to make a little more sense.
yeah, or like, oh crap, now there's quicksand. Now I gotta run around or something like that. You know what I mean? Or the what was that monster that ate Boba Fett
The Sarlacc.
on Tatooine? Yeah, Sarlacc pit. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know, sci-fi, do something.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right.
Um,
Uh.
what else? Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. Is there anything else that I didn't like? Mm, all right, so they're trying to build a world, and at the end, oh, my mom showed up. All right. Do you really want to see a female version of this thing? I mean, not listen, listen. These Yaja, these Yamchas. I just want to call them Yamchas.
Oh
Sorry.
no. Oh no. They're getting downgraded.
Yeah, seriously, right? These monsters are already, even the male ones are already kind. I don't know how to say this, bro. Like, oh, you know what? Never mind. Never mind. I don't even want to go there. I hope because you're a decent person, you don't know what I'm talking about, but I fear that you do. Um, all right, listen, in a sense, Alien versus Predator makes sense. And I'm not even gonna go into why, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I never saw it.
like
Oh, I
I,
see what you mean though. Oh no.
I don't I'm not saying, but I'm
I never
saying,
thought that. I never thought that, but okay.
and God bless you, bro. God bless you for having but like I was like, so like I'm like anyway, I was like, okay, so um
Well, okay. What did you think about one of his main goals was to get his cloak ability?
okay, so oh yeah, that's the other thing. So at the end, he fights his dad and he turns on like the exhaust from the spaceship to blow all this debris so that he can see the silhouette of his dad who has the cloaking device on.
Mhm.
Which in and of itself is like not a bad solution, right? To counter that.
Mhm.
But it's almost like, okay, well, it's like, yeah, he may be invisible, but like that doesn't mean he forgot how to fight. Like he's still your dad. Like it's almost like the cloak made him like incapable of like basic defense, right? It's like all of a sudden he's like, well, I have this cloak on, so I guess I don't have to fight. Like no, like you're still a warrior. You didn't forget how to fight. Why are you fighting so badly right now against your kid that you should be able to beat because he's a runt in the first place?
Mhm. Mhm.
So that was weird. It's like, why are you fighting so poorly just because you have this cloak on?
Yeah.
That should have no bearing on your fighting ability. Number two, outside of like going on to like a foreign planet where you don't know anything and you have to hide and conceal yourself, that cloak is a sucker move. That's just you being like a coward and like hiding,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
Like if you're gonna make them out to be like this proud warrior race, kind of like the Saiyans or something like that, or the Klingons, they would never hide behind a cloak. You know what I mean?
I've always
So like,
thought it was a cowardly move. It's cool to see. It's a cool effect, and I know why they did it in the first movie, but it's like a massively cowardly move. Hmm.
yeah, like you're not a warrior. You're just hiding. So like that's part of the problem with trying to like build out lore for these characters and like a honor system. There's nothing honorable about hiding behind a cloak. I mean, that whole thing is just weird. So,
Hmm. So
um,
it's funny that you bring up Saiyans. I should have thought about it before myself as well, but this movie almost a solo Vegeta movie.
Man, well, Vegeta was the prince of all Saiyans. He
I
wasn't
know
the runt.
he was the prince. And he was
This is
obviously he
closer. This
was
is
like close to being the best of all Saiyans, but he's on. Yeah, Deck is the opposite end of the spectrum. Deck was the
he became
the Goku. Goku
Goku,
was supposed to be
Kakarot,
yeah.
a runt. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, yeah. The real question is there like a Frieza? Is there like an equivalent Frieza character that's like
Dang,
oppressing the Yacha? That would be interesting,
that would be
if not
dope.
blatantly ripping off Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, whatever.
Yeah, I think they
Um,
can't do that because they said the Yautja have no predators. And by
right.
definition, Frieza and his clan are the predators of the Saiyans.
Right. Now, again, going back to the invisibility cloak in the original movie, it didn't matter because he was a monster basically. So it didn't matter if he was a coward or not. He was just a monster who was hunting. So it didn't matter if he had any kind of sense of warrior's honor, or any sense of like, not chivalry, but like not camaraderie. What's the word I'm looking for? Like warrior's honor or whatever.
Yeah, like a code.
Yeah.
Hmm.
None of that mattered in the original movie. No, this was just a predator by
It's
any
true.
means necessary.
Yeah, it probably. Yeah, I think it is more of a as the future pushed forward from that franchise, the lore expanded, and they probably came up with that. After the fact. It didn't start with like these guys are. I mean, yeah, they did think about like the predator wants to fight other strong combatants, but I don't remember. I don't
Right.
remember. I don't remember if there was a time in the movie. I know, like, I remember, like, Arnold, like, what he got to get the mud on him. He had the mud on himself. I think maybe he took out the cloaking ability in some way. I don't remember the Predator turning off the cloaking ability itself, but maybe it did happen.
Yeah, I don't remember the movie clearly enough, but like what I will say is like it almost makes sense if you're fighting something like a xenomorph, like the aliens that are on sensory, right? Like you're just taking away like one sensory component that might give you a little bit of an edge to survive against this thing. That is that is your physical superior. Maybe, I don't know. It's like the minute you start to try to build out the lore and the character and the value system of these, then you run into problems when they're hiding under an invisibility cloak. All right, so there's that. Um, um, yeah, like the need to try to make everything a cinematic universe, kind of like it's kind of wears on me, kind of grates on me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh no, if this movie makes $1 billion, then they're gonna make another one. That doesn't mean
Yeah,
that they need to, or that they should, or that it's gonna
it's
be a good
fair.
idea. It's just like, oh, we're doing
I
that.
had
We're
read that
trying to
this was going to be the
franchise.
first of potential other movies, so I knew going in. Yeah.
Like, I'm almost down with like anthology films, right? Where like they're loosely connected by like a theme or by like a universe, so to speak. But like, do I really want to see like four more Dex movies? I don't care that much about the character. I'd be down just to see like, anthology series of like separate, disparate Predator stories, if that's what they're gonna do.
That's literally the Killer of Killers animated movie. So
Okay,
you should check that
sure.
out. Yeah.
I've only seen Predator 1 and Predator 2 as a kid. That's like before I saw this movie. I didn't watch anything before that.
But you saw
I didn't watch
Prey,
the
didn't
one.
you? Yeah, you
Nope, I
saw
didn't see
Prey.
that one either.
Oh, you didn't see Prey?
No, no.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw the trailer for Prey, which looked hilarious.
I
This one
see.
part where he like hits him with an axe and the guy goes flying or whatever. It looked ridiculous. I saw that. I saw what double toasted. They were laughing, they were howling over the trailer for this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really into alien predator stuff. It doesn't like the it doesn't interest me except for like the first two alien movies, Alien and Aliens. Um Aliens with Sigourney Weaver, the James Cameron movie that they shot in England, um, is a classic. It's like a modern classic. Game over, man. Like that's where that comes from. Um, yeah, but I've seen those movies years ago. I haven't watched them recently. Uh, but yeah, I'm not. I don't like looking at aliens. They just look kind of gross and like unpleasant to me, creepy and whatnot. And same thing with Predator. So it's just not for me in general.
Okay.
But I like the concept of this looked interesting. So I'm like, all right, I'll check
All
it
right.
out.
All right.
I probably think that I could have done with a whole lot less like character development per se, and just watching it be a hunt. Um, and just watching him figure things out in real time. You know, keeping the technology that he had on him and like fighting and doing stuff. I actually think that would have been a better movie. Way less plot, way less talking. Maybe just a little bit in the beginning. This is Austin's head canon. Like imagine like they knew that they had this planet, they had data on this planet. This is a planet where predators go to earn their stripes and the final leg of their training or whatever, of their SEAL training or whatever. So they go there, they got to survive for 72 hours or whatever make believe predator clock timekeeping system, just whatever. 3 days, and you got to survive it. And it's just him surviving it. Something almost like The Running Man or something like that, which we're going to watch this coming week. But yeah, like they just made it. I almost feel like they humanized the predator way too much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And again, that's just me remembering the old movie. And it's like, oh man, Predator was like super badass. Like he was just like this heartless, soulless, hunting alien machine thing with weird technology that blows your head off or whatever. It was dope. If you go and watch the making of Predator, originally they had like Jean Claude Van Damme in this big rubber suit running around in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I would love to see oh man, if they made the movie like that, we wouldn't even have this movie because that movie would have been it would have been a laughing stock. That would have been the end of Schwarzenegger's career in the 80s. Maybe not the end, but it would have been a huge black eye for him.
Yeah, it could have been. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
Actually, it is
yeah,
funny though that we're seeing Running Man this week as well because, yeah, yet again another Arnold movie.
or
Um,
it was a excuse me, it's a Stephen King book novel that they made into a film that starred Arnold Schwarzenegger, which
yeah,
was
yeah.
yeah. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah. This is gonna be a very different Running Man. I'm looking forward to that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, as far as this movie's
Okay, all
concerned,
right. Well, last
just,
thing
just-
I'll go ahead.
yeah. Go, that's pretty much what I had.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
last thing I'll ask. Yeah, what were your thoughts on Yao main character and specifically facial expressions for the entire film?
I mean, for the film, I mean, emotional expression is super limited. It's just angry and maybe not so angry. It's like, all right,
Uh-huh.
it's not really
Yeah.
conducive. I guess he has like one tooth that like I guess he lost, but it's kind of growing back or something.
No, I think it was just broken because when he saved his brother from the child's toy. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, whatever. I don't it was just one of those things like, all right, whatever. That's just a way of like distinguishing him from like other ones, basically. Um, the mouths, oh boy.
Making you think of doing
Um,
popcorn buckets, huh? Is that what's going on?
yeah. Um,
Not that bad. Not that bad. I thought that's what you were thinking of for a second there.
no,
Okay.
no, that's not what I was thinking. That's not uh, I don't know, like I don't want to say.
All right.
Basically, I
Don't
don't
say.
want to say.
Don't say. Don't say.
I,
We don't
I
want to
would
get
prefer
too
not to say.
demonetized on this platform that we're not even
I
gonna
would
get
prefer not to
monetized on.
say. Mm, Um, yeah. So
All
yeah,
right, all right. So okay, the range of emotions was you could understand what emotion he kind of had at any given point overall, right?
yeah. So like originally, like in the first movie, like he was covered by a mask for the whole movie, except for like maybe like one last part or something like that. And it was like,
Hmm.
ah, ah. Now they're
Yeah,
like
he's when
trying
he
to,
says his famous like you're an ugly, mother or something like that.
yeah, that was like the whole thing because
Hmm.
it kind of, it kind of, anyway, like now they're taking all of this mouth and they're like trying to use it as like as a vehicle for character development. It's just that's kind of weird. Um,
Okay, all right, it's fair enough.
yeah,
So I mean, these are reasons why, yeah, you have Thea and Tessa and even Bud, in the film because they know it might be a tough ask for it to be 100% Yautja face the entire movie. So makes sense. I mean, they could have come up with a villain that had a more human face if they just want to have Yautja and creature villain that's humanoid or something. But all right. Any more things, or shall I move on to mine?
yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
All right. So yeah, since we're already talking about the Ouch's face and design, I think they took a chance with it. I think it works overall. They were smart about simplifying his face, making him smaller. His brother and father had like some bigger like I don't know ridges and bones and things that would have been maybe less easy to watch like for an entire movie. So making him more human overall, I think was a step in the right direction. I think overall he had bigger eyes than both his father and his dad, and his eyebrows were more expressive. Even though the color is pretty dark, I think the first time I was watching it, some of the expressions maybe got a little bit lost at me, just kind of like seeing everything for the first time, taking everything in for the first time, seeing it again. Yeah, his eyebrows do quite a bit of the work. Same with the eyes, and I think that's part of the reason why it makes me think a little bit of anime as well. And, you bring up the saying element as yeah, very 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 appropriate to it as well in that regard. Anime classically uses eyes uh, quite a bit more than Western animation. But I do 100% understand the frustration of. But what if I wanted a Predator movie where the Predator was just like the same mentality as that guy from the first movie, where he wasn't swayed by emotions. He was just throwing him into the hardest hardest environment possible so that it is the underdog, and so that's why you're caring about the character because you're seeing it like the underdog story represented in comparison to the world being so deadly. I think it could have worked. I think it's very possible they could have gone that route. My guess is either it was like studio director interest, like I think there's a natural tendency to want to have a more human connection to the characters, so making him and his brother virtually the only Yautja in their clan or that we've been exposed to. And maybe it happened once or twice in the previous movies, but anyways, be virtually the only ones that like actually have a more human good emotion. I think was kind of just a necessity. I think they were smart in that Deck is the character that is showing emotion and wrestling through what is supposed to be weakness. Like through the story, he like rationalizes his friendships by seeing them as like tools and objects that can help him from point A to point B. But then by the time he gets far enough into the movie, he realizes that yeah he keeps saying time after time he's not Yautja, he's not Yautja yet. His brother said that he was not Yautja from the beginning of the movie. So I think like the emotional arc and the character arc of underlying the film like makes sense. he is an outsider, and I mean, to be honest, it's another like How to Train Your Dragon situation in a way, where his particular thing that it's a weakness in his clan turns out to be a strength because he creates his own clan, and him creating these bonds and these friendships are indeed what help him survive. But that's beyond what all the other Yautja have. Like every other Yautja that's gone to the planet has failed, because they have this impasse of like doing it alone, and so essentially, I said earlier in the cast here that this movie is aimed at like us humans because it humanizes the character, but it also uses our like morality to like point down at the Yautja, which I'm sure to some degree is a little like assuming of us to feel like our the way we approach the world in existence is the correct way, and the movie doesn't try to get into any sort of theological morality kind of questions, but it does cause me to wonder, like, outside of us just being humans watching the movie, like, what makes their way of life wrong specifically? Um, why is it wrong that like the father is killing his son for weakness, whether he's trying to kill Deck or trying to kill Quay? That's how they go about it. Like, that's not wrong, right? Since it's their culture. The movie doesn't try to like really broach those questions. It pretty much just says like it's wrong because you can survive better when you create your own clan, when you actually create friendships and stuff. Take that as you will. You may be happy about that, not happy about it. It's just kind of like a reality to the storytelling. But they 100% had to do that, I think, or chose to do that because it'll connect to more audience members. Um, I feel like the movie you're describing and that could be cool, where it's just like completely hardened Yautja main character may not make as much money at the end of the day. I don't know. That's just kind of my hypothesis of like why they went this route. And they also kind of have infused like there's the obvious Japanese sort of honor, shame, pride system that's in there. So yeah, there's a lot of like our human experience that's put into these characters. Um, so take it as you will, whether you want to be a whether you appreciate the original Yautja experience from the first movie more than this, like that's up to you. Um, but I definitely do agree. If you're gonna call it Death World, it needs to be Death World. Like 100%. I thought every time he was at the water, why is he like safe? Like why is this a safe space? Every time they showed like one creature eating another creature, like why is that creature stupid enough to fly into the path of the like hanging tube underneath the cliffside? Said he gets eaten by it. There's some things that you have to kind of give up and let happen to like just to show the death element in the universe, but it does bring into question like how deadly things are if they're just stupid.
Yeah.
And yeah, there 100% could be a version of this film where the water's acid. You know, every time he touches the surface, like it winds up poisoning him. Uh, though, yeah, Theo wasn't there to warn him about and bring him back to life by having the coincidental antidote from the flowers like right below the um the actual buds that are deadly. I mean, for goodness sake, yeah. His awareness of the situation time after time, it's either not great or it's like too good. Like when he went into like when he first fought the forest vines, it's purely through a like cinematographic indication of like looking up at the rock that we get the idea that he has the idea if he gets to the rock he's going to be safe. But there's nothing to indicate to him or us that that's the case. Like when he gets to the rock, like it's just a convenience that the vines can't go any further. Uh, it was maybe like one of the first like bumps that I came across like on the planet. I was like, why does it stop there? Like, I don't know. Anyways, um, I did like his sword, but man, I was hoping he would lose it even faster because that thing was so broken. Like it was solving every problem that he had. Like, and how I described earlier, like I could have had the fights last longer. As you had said, the fight with the um bone bison, they called it, I think. It was actually over relatively quick. And him throwing his sword at it, like it just cut it in half. Like it was cool to see, but I also can recognize that it's too easy. Like I mean,
Yeah.
there were so many other times where he wound up like even when he's fighting his brother in the beginning, they'd use the sword and it'd get like lodged in the I don't know stone stalagmites or whatever around them. So it wasn't like full lightsaber. But then in that moment, maybe they rationalized it because of the like momentum of the creature and it's made of flesh overall. Like its bones were open, that like its weakness was like right down the middle. So it could just be cut by a thrown weapon like that. Anyways, it like Austin was talking about, like to a certain degree, you're just making up your own movie, launching off the base, foundation of another film. So all that to say is the Death Planet could have been even more deadly, but would that have been really too frustrating to design from a writing and storyboarding standpoint? Maybe, might have been. Um, but maybe you just don't call it the Death Planet. Maybe, maybe you just leave it at like, oh yeah, that particular creature, the Calisk, is like the most one of the most deadly creatures. But you don't like have to label the entire planet as Death Planet, because then you kind of maybe walk yourself into something. But that's all right. Um, as far as the sidekicks go, I did enjoy them, but the first few, like once Deck rescued Thea and they were traveling, I know the whole point of it is to kind of be annoying, but man, for a half second I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to take Thea during this movie. If she's like this the whole film, she was real annoying, real annoying. Um, but thankfully they didn't just leave her in that like slim annoying category. She was able to have some serious moments, able to calm down a little bit. Uh, I Yeah, when you think about like the actual backstory of some of these characters, I kind of wish they better represented like what she was doing for the 2 years. It sounds like her and Thea were designed with emotions to be able to analyze and deceive the creatures, as that's kind of they said, to get to their
Oh, yeah.
weakness.
You know what?
Um,
I'm glad you mentioned that. That's another thing that I didn't like, the whole mother thing,
yeah.
where they have to, like, misspell mother to make it more, like, techie or
uh,
ugh,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
like emotions were the only option to make them capable of understanding the
I
world
know,
around them.
yeah. Again, it's like the very
That didn't
human element of the movie. Like they needed Tessa's decision against family to be a foil to Deck's choice for family by the end of the film, and that's why they essentially wound up doing it. They both were struggling with emotion. She decided to throw it by the wayside while he decided to like embrace it. So I get why
yeah.
they did it, but yeah, it is a little cheesy.
That's another thing I didn't like about this movie, and it's not just this movie, like, you could say this about Tron Ares or any, like, sci-fi movie. It's what I call, like, the magic button phenomenon. Like, "Oh, like, what does any of this mean?" There's, like, buttons on the wall, she, like, touching them to, like, like, to release his shackles and stuff. I'm like, "Why are those on the wall? Like, why are we doing this?" Like, I don't know. It's a sci-fi thing where they're just, like, magic buttons, They're just
Hmm.
it's like in the movie where the hacker is just, like, endlessly typing. what are you typing? What requires you to do that much typing? Like, it's just like, uh,
It's just the
anyway,
movie magic, Austin. It's just that movie magic.
well, it doesn't really seem to make any sense. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. It's all weird. I don't
Yeah,
whatever. But
yeah,
uh
yeah.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to better know. So Thea, she's painted as like incredibly innocent and kind. When it really comes down to it, there is the deception part. Yeah, I'm glad she did deceive him. She did send out the beacon, not let him know. She'd hide from him, but then she immediately told him like, you know, I'm sorry. Like, tried to protect him because she knew how strong that, you know, I guess the way in Utani was. But the funny thing about that is like they had to use his tech, and he like conveniently had the cryo bombs to be able to, you know, work against the Callus. Which one, it's incredibly, it's actually kind of ridiculous how when Tessa comes across the bomb initially, and she sets it off, it only like gets part of her hand frozen. Like if she accidentally set that thing off, it would have like like her entire body would have been frozen. So it's like it is a convenience also, just to kind of like show the audience that it's a cryo thing, give her the idea. Um, but it's also unsatisfying that we've seen that the that him and the callus get frozen and then are unfrozen. So I don't think I don't think the callus should be dead, honestly. I mean they
I feel
didn't
like once
like
it melts or something, it should
that's what
like
exactly what I was
T1000.
thinking. Exactly what I was thinking. Once it melts, what's stopping it from coming back together? I'm guessing they're trying to rationalize that like it's I don't know, its brain or something is separated and maybe it stays separated long enough that it then dies. Like I don't know. They didn't really explain that to us.
No.
They just kind of let it be the way it was. But I was disappointed by Tessa herself. Like I think she does what the plot needs to happen, but it was kind of unsatisfying that when she shows up for the last fight, she's just already in the big mech, and and all that she's doing is like controlling it. There's some cool things that
Right.
happen during that fight, but I don't
And
know. It
hang on, is Wayland Yutani like a reference to the Alien
hundred
franchise?
hundred percent, 100%. Yeah,
Okay, that's what I thought.
yeah,
Because she was in the mech just like aliens,
yep,
you
yep,
know. Like, all
yeah,
right, send back to that. I'm like, all
yeah,
right,
yeah. I mean, they're the whole company that's like they go out to get capture the xenomorph to use as a bioweapon. So this is just another one of their researching things to use as a bioweapon. So they're 100% heading towards another Alien versus Predator kind of situation. Um,
okay.
yeah, if not something different. Um, let's see. Yeah, Tessa was kind of indicating to was talking when she was kind of doing her weird torture operation stuff on deck. She was like wondering like what was different about him and like kind of trying to figure that out. And it almost made it seem like yeah, is there something different about him that
Oh
they can
yeah,
like
so
explain?
the whole thing where like she pumps and injects him with something.
Yeah, I think that was maybe to knock him out, but I almost thought that she was injecting him with like the like something experimental, but maybe it was just a knockout
Right,
chemical.
because he was different. Like they were like alluding that there's something special about him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And they
yeah.
didn't really follow up on that.
No, no, I don't think they really did. Maybe
Yeah,
it
it's
was just
possible.
supposed to be that he was like willing to be emotional. I don't know. I don't know.
That wouldn't be an advantage in his species or his culture or whatever.
Yeah, outside of his like yeah, his brother, you know, helping to raise him, and you know,
I guess.
I think it was yeah, it's yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. Because like they do have the tribalism, and like maybe they do care for each other, but like how do they care for each other? Are they just like just all rude to each other all the time? Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't really want to think too much about it. Um,
Yeah, neither do I.
mhm. I mean, they have their
So
kids playing with bombs, so it's like they both simultaneously are like showing that they're willing to let their kids get blown up by just kids toys, but also like how does anyone make it to adulthood? I don't know.
right, it's kind of
Doesn't
like
really matter.
the Adams Family meets Warlords or something. I don't know. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um so yeah, you know, I kind of wanted Tessa. It sounded like she was described as she was the one that goes out and like fights and you know gets the creatures and all that stuff. But it doesn't really let Thea off the hook. Like either she's somehow ignorant of what they're doing there, which she's not. It doesn't fully add up to me that she's like as altruistic as she is for like 2 years before she goes out. I don't even understand why Tessa brought her out if she's like this weak that she could just get messed up. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't want to think too deeply about that stuff because it starts to like cause things to fall apart a little bit. Um, but yeah, I wanted Tessa to be like more formidable before she got into the big machine, but I think they were like, well, we keep upping the ante of the fight. We can't go from callous big creature fight to a small Tessa fight back to a you know big power suit fight. So I don't know. Maybe they cut something out. It just kind of would have felt a little bit more satisfying. But I'm glad that at least even as cheesy as it is, like they did have her wake up from the inside, you know, and like have a moment with the you know, basically disavows her as a sister. I think they all understood kind of the emotional beats of of the film, kind of what needed to happen. But
Right.
last thing I'll say, I can't promise to write better lines myself, but there was a good amount of incredibly cheesy lines that characters delivered in this movie. Um, I was actually relatively surprised some of those lines made it into the final picture, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I don't know. Overall, I would say it's a decent movie. It's fine. If you can ignore some of these things and they don't impair your ability to suspend disbelief, you'll be fine. It's a good Netflix movie. It's a good HBO Max movie. You
Hmm.
don't need to see it in 3D.
Yeah, one of the conveniences you were talking about, I noticed was when they were chasing when they were chasing the bone bison and he winds up getting knocked off and he hits a tree and hits the ground. I was like, very convenient that he hits the tree and hits the dirt instead of hitting the tree and like goes head first into all the blades. But
Yeah.
anyways, yes, yeah, it's definitely a streaming movie. You know, I think it'll be Disney Plus when it comes out to watch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Hulu or whatever.
yeah. By
Yeah,
that
because
time, I think Hulu will be completely shuttered. But yeah,
yeah, because it's a 20th century movie, formerly 20th Century Fox until the buyout from Disney back in 2017. All right, so yeah, I guess that's been our review of Predator Badlands. Uh, yeah, thank you for viewing. Hit that like button. What was it?
subscribe
Like, subscribe,
or
like, subscribe,
notification.
subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can be updated for all of our latest live stream movie reviews.
Thank you,
Uh,
Genobi One, for commenting and talking to us about your thoughts. Your you know in the movie. Whatever you guys come on by, feel free to chat. We'll try and catch your comments
you're
as
the
soon as
best,
possible. You
Shinobi.
the
You're the best,
best. You the
Shinobi.
one.
You're the best, Shinobi.
You the one.
Yeah. So we got Running Man coming up. I mean, I've seen it so many times in trailers. I'm like, I'm ready to just watch the movie now.
Yeah, totally. Mhm.
Um,
It's been a little bit since we got an Edgar Wright movie, right? Because correct. Sorry, I said right twice. Correct because it what was no
Baby Boy.
baby Driver. I
Baby
think
Driver?
that one happened
Not Baby Boy.
because he didn't do Ant Man. But maybe yeah, maybe Baby Driver was the last one.
Maybe. I don't I'm not sure. But
Yeah,
yeah, looking forward to Edgar Wright. And then the week after that we have Wicked for Good. And then we might play a little bit of catch up.
I think Zootopia is the week after that. But yeah,
Yeah, I think after Zootopia 2, we we might be in a little bit of a dry zone as far as movies go, or like big movies that we really want to review. So we might be able to go back and like talk
possibly.
about
Yeah,
some other movies.
I know December 19th is Avatar. Um, I think maybe somewhere around there is the Christian Bale Frankenstein Bride movie. So, but anyways, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, November's pretty stacked. So
Do you know we won? You rock. You rock.
hey, thank you. We appreciate that. So yeah, this month is pretty stacked as far as movies, and then
Yeah.
we might have a little bit of leeway in December. We'll see. But yeah, uh, looking forward to
Oh,
Running
because
Man.
you were gonna want to catch up to One Battle After Another, maybe, maybe,
We
yeah,
could talk about it.
at some point, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, I think there's like an anime movie coming out pretty soon.
Mm.
We wanted to see 100 meters, but it wasn't in the theaters by the
Yeah.
time we saw it. So maybe it'll be available by that time on streaming or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Um, but yeah, so stay tuned for all of that. And yeah, I guess if there's no other announcements, I guess we can wrap this up. Yep, yep. All right. Well,
That's
God
it.
bless you guys.
All right. God bless you all.
We'll see. We'll catch y'all